I really thought about Jim Collins' principle, the flywheel principle. Now, what I have found is that a lot of people don't necessarily know that principle because Jim Collins wrote that book like back in the 90s when a lot of you in the house were not even born. The flywheel principle is a really important principle, and I want to teach it to you today. So this is going to be my teaching moment that you may not know what it is, but when you leave here, you're going to know what a flywheel is and what it does. So I want you to close your eyes. I want every one of you close your eyes, and I'll know if you don't close your eyes because I can see you. I want you to close your eyes for just a second, and I want you to imagine, keep your eyes closed, I want you to imagine if up on the stage with me, there was a huge, like 8-foot flywheel that was on the stage with me. Open your eyes. This is a flywheel. This is a flywheel. It's a huge metal rotating object that helps things to move, okay? And Jim Collins in his book says, imagine the flywheel and you want it to move, and so you push and you try to get it started to turn, but it just won't budge. But you keep pushing and you keep pushing and you keep pushing. That's just how it is for a lot of our students and a lot of our schools. Sometimes for our schools, they have a lot of kids that their flywheel just won't turn, but they keep pushing and they keep trying, and we keep working together, and we're going to work on that as a district. See, this vision statement to me is, I just love this vision statement, where all students learn, grow, and succeed. And last year, you all remember that we focused on the word grow. We had plants all over the stage. You all left with a plant. We brought home that word grow out of the vision statement. Well, we're not going to leave that word behind because it's still a really important word. But another word this year that I really want to focus on and I want to get your attention on, and we're going to have our attention on it all year as a district, and yes, I'm going to tweet the heck out of it, is going to be this word that's right in the center of the vision statement. 7 words, but the word that's right in the middle is the word learn. Because if you're not learning, you can't grow. But this year we're going to focus on these 4 key questions. And some of you have been already working with this at your campus, and I love that, and this would be my goal. This would be my goal that we would learn this now at the start of the school year, and at the end of this school year, by the end of the school year, this would be second nature to everything that we do. What do we expect our students to learn? Well, we have the TEKS and we have our curriculum. So do we have the right things that we expect them to learn? How will we know when they have learned it? How will we know? I've been in classrooms before. I remember when I was growing up, I remember sitting in classrooms where a teacher would just teach out, wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. And just expect that every single student was going to get it, and then just move on, and not even to check to see if they had learned it. We're not going to do that. How will we respond when some students do not learn? Third question. It's a great question. We got to make sure that we get to it. My 7th grade math teacher, Mr. Barry, and you know, if you ever hear me talk, I always will pay lots of tribute to all of my teachers growing up. My 7th grade math teacher, he was brilliant. I would sit and I would watch him, and he would teach a student, he would sit there to try to teach a student something, and if the student didn't get it, he'd go, okay, let's try this. And he would explain it like a completely new way. And then if the student didn't get it, he'd say, okay, well, let's look at it this way. And I always was amazed that he could do that. And then when I went to be a principal at Poteet High School, Mr. Barry taught there, and I got to work alongside him, and I got to watch him, and I would go through walkthroughs like all the time just to learn, how does Mr. Barry do that? How does he do that? When the student doesn't get the first time, he teaches it another way. That's a gift. It's a gift that so many of you have as well. And then that 4th question, how will we respond when some students already know it? We sometimes don't get to that question because we're so focused on the earlier questions in the list, and then we have kids who are there, and I hear sometimes from parents who will say, my kid is bored. The teacher is just worried about the kids in the class that don't get the information. What about my kid? Well, if we put these 4 questions into practice in our daily planning and in our PLCs and in our meetings and across the district, we will take care of every single student to make sure that every single student gets to see the baseball game, which is huge.